murders of Todd and Annette, Kenny Linscott and Chester McKnight are arrested and charged with the killings.
You can pin any opponent at any time, making this match
I knew the consequences, which I really didn't something that I had to put to rest.
Chester always did indicate that he was the one and the sole perpetrator of the murders.
To the victims' families, I'm sorry.
Chester McKnight pleads guilty to both murders.
The court sentences you to life without the possibility of parole for 20 years.
Kenny takes a plea.
The state is agreeing to dismiss the charge of aggravated murder which was lodged against you.
Kenny pled guilty to abuse of the corpse and got time served.
Kenny sat back for years knowing someone else had taken the blame for a crime he had committed. And watched the damage he had caused not only to Todd and Annette, but the entire community.
For the people that fought for justice and the families that love Todd and Annette, the memories are forever bittersweet.
I never had a chance to say goodbye to Todd, and not being able to see him and say goodbye like you do somebody else that passes, I found it very difficult to live with.
When I look back now, I wonder about what their lives could have accomplished, what impact they could have had on others, what it would have done to our own family.
If somebody needed help, Todd and Annette were all there to give a hand. My favorite memory of Todd was when I was upset, crying. Todd came in and he took the coffee cup out of my hand, sat down at the counter, put his arms around me, and he said, "I love you, Mom, and we'll get through this. Don't worry about it. We'll be fine."
The human remains set off a baffling 15-year missing persons case. I didn't solve that case. That man is my father. Who is hiding a deadly secret? How bizarre. This man's about to come out of work? Justice finally be served.
What happened was one of the biggest surprises in this case.
On a sultry summer day in southern Florida, construction workers are tirelessly cleaning out debris from the backyard of an old farmhouse to make way for a big new box store.
The backyard looked like it's been abandoned for years. A lot of brush, a lot of wooden pieces sticking out of the ground. You can tell no one's touched it in a long time.
After a sweaty morning of hard work, Frank Torito and his cousin decide they deserve a short break.
When my cousin decided he wanted to play, he picks up this wild watermelon and he's doing that. I reached down and grabbed one and threw him back. This went on for a couple seconds before I finally realized that the melon I just picked up had something attached to it that didn't seem right.
bends down to take a closer look, and what he sees gives him a chill that cuts right through the sweltering heat.
I can see fingers are attached to the body. And I say to my cousin, look at this. These are all bones. I've played in the backyard before and I've never seen it.
By now, Frank and his cousin have drawn the attention of their boss.
He has said to me that back in the day, there's probably some chicken farm. I have definitely a lot of chicken. I can know what chicken looks like, and I have definitely a lot of chicken eggs. Something in my heart says, no, something's not right.
Unable to shake the feeling, Frank calls the Miramar Police Department. Within the hour, the backyard is crawling with officers. There's no telling what other grim discoveries await. One by one, they start finding bones. Human bones.
They were pulling out a femur. They pulled out leg teeth. And one officer said if we had the head, we had no body. The police called in the medical examiner's office because the first determination needed to be, is this possibly a homicide?
For detectives, the question remains, who has been so closely discarded in this horrible crime?
It's disgraceful that someone would actually take another person's human life like that.
It doesn't take long for word of the grisly discovery behind an abandoned farmhouse to spread through the small town of Miramar.
You gotta remember that this was an 1980s Florida, and especially since a lot of the importation drugs came through the Everglades, it was not unusual to find corpses in the Everglades. However, in the middle of a backyard was very unusual.
Long time you see. Come on, man. You see me get whoa, ups and head.
Really being developed as a family-friendly.
It's a tag team shit.
The team begins the gruesome task of examining the bones, hoping they will tell what this victim cannot.
This is pre-DNA. So the method of detection at that time was forensic anthropology. And there's a tremendous amount of information that can be gleaned based on the condition of the teeth and things of that nature.
Without a skull, investigators can't match dental records. And while the bones don't tell investigators how the victim died, they do speak volumes about who this person might be.
There are certain bones in the body which give a lot of information. If you have a femur bone that tells somebody's height, obviously women are made for childbearing, have wider hips. So forensic anthropology told us that these bones were male. Also, the femur bone told us that this is somebody who was over 6 foot.
What's more, it appears this man wasn't recently buried.
The analysis indicated there was some stain on the bones that you get from the amount of time that it's exposed to the elements. And from that, the conclusion was that the bones had been there for years. It seemed like it was a full-fledged crime scene, you know? I wondered which bones they were and the type of person that he was and what he meant to his family and friends.
Figuring out who fell prey to such an inhumane burial will not be an easy task.
At the time, there was not the actual databases or information sharing between cities. When Miramar police found these bones, they considered whether or not there were any people that were missing from the city of Miramar. And there was no clear indication of any matching missing persons. The case went cold for years, and the bones sat on a shelf at the medical examiner's office as an unexplained homicide.
It's nearly 15 years later, and one town away, when cold case detective Donna Velasquez gets her first assignment at the Pembroke Pines Police Department.
My chief decided that he wanted to start a dedicated missing persons unit. He came to me with a banker box and dropped it on my desk with some chicken burritos.
The detective's first case is a complicated one.
David Jackson had been missing since June of 1988, so that is 15 years that I'm behind the 8 ball. I had never ever heard of David Jackson or David Jackson being missing. So I made a vision board with David's initial photo that the police department made and a rendition of possibly what he looked like 15 years older. And I put it above my desk to remind me that every single day when I came in that I needed to try to do something that day to work on the case to try to move it forward.
Before the last witness has a chance to dig into this mystery, the most astonishing thing happens.
The explorers are a group of teenagers who come to the police department and shadow police officers in hopes of one day becoming police officers themselves. Every Tuesday night, they would have meetings at the police department.
On this Tuesday night, one of the teens is casually walking through the office when he comes to a dead stop right in front of Velasquez's desk.
He points to my visionary board and he says, "I can't solve that case,